The way this piece so honestly and rawly attacks grief, I think, is something really to be admired. There's such a sensitivity to it, a delicacy, a thoughtfulness, an understatement in the story that we see unfold of a couple that has long since been separated, but very much still has this meaningful connection with one another and is trying to get through the loss of a child, which obviously is possibly the most difficult loss one can possibly endure. We feel that in every line of dialogue, in every movement, and in every touch that they give one another. So it's so tender and true and packed with history. It's a really wonderful piece, very emotional.
The fourth star. Wow, this was a very powerful film. It was so moving. I think that the film does an excellent portrayal of the complexity of love through hard times because this couple has gone through some very difficult experiences with the daughter and the man who is hurt, but I think that what's particularly interesting about this is how, despite all the troubles he and his ex-wife have, they went through a divorce and they clearly don't like each other. How, despite everything, when times get rough, they're together. She's there for him, and that's a beautiful sentiment. And I think that's true because, at least with people, that's what happens when, you know, in the day-to-day stuff we get a lot of dumb arguments, but when something really bad happens, if people really love each other, they're going to be there. And I think that this film manages to represent that very well. So I think that it was a beautiful raw portrayal of love. Yeah, well done.
The fourth star delivers a quietly affecting story about grief, denial, and fractured connection. The setup, this divorced couple having to reconnect and reconsider the past, unfolds with subtle tension, and while it takes its time to get there, the emotional payoff is quite genuine. There's this clean, almost sterile look to the visuals that works in contrast to the messy, repressed emotions beneath. A choice that feels intentional, if a bit stark. The long argument scene is a standout. It's well paced and the most alive the film feels. It echoes the realism and chaos of a marriage story, though on a smaller scale and with slightly less impact, maybe in the performances. Still, the honesty in the writing shines through, even when the acting isn't always fully dialed in. The film takes its time. It asks you to sit in discomfort, which for character-based stories is great. And the final breakthrough lands with weight. So it's restrained, thoughtful, and very interesting to watch.
The fourth star is about two lovers coming together after a period of time. We see them roll up to the hospital only to find that maybe that this person is the last person that they've expected to find come pick them up and help them out after a really bad night. And you can tell right from the get-go that there's tension between the two characters, only to find that they are a divorced couple. Now, as we get further along in the story, we find the details of the why of the breakup and the separation, and there's enough time that has passed that one of the two people have decided to move on. And there's a struggle within that. Grief isn't linear, and this battle of how far are you willing to fight for love and keeping these relationships despite the hardships and grief that people go through. We have this incident that occurs that brings them together and gives them a sense to have this sense of safety of, I'm not going to leave you to suffer in silence, despite the grumpy attitude you might present with at times. And I'm going to stay here and be there for you during the night when you need me most. And I'm going to take the steps that I need to take in order to move forward and move on. You know, we have this moment, this infamous moment that always happens in a lot of movies where we find the mother is having this set of reflection and grief and flashbacks of being in the house where she's built all these memories with her daughter that has obviously passed away. And then we get to see these moments where they take the step to be able to move on. Keep the things that are sentimental, but let's not be living in this room and have this room stay the same as if this person hasn't left at all, which I think is important.